So I have been out here this morning moving at a snail's pace toward putting this motor together. Now I got YouTubers that are all excited about this project right here. In fact, I got one in particular, Mason Fox, that every few days he says, "Are you working on that motor yet? Have you put that motor in that Rambler yet? When are you going to do that motor? When are you going to fix that Rambler?" And bless his heart. I appreciate people like him, because people like him let me know that there's some people out there like him who are actually interested in this stuff I do that other people may not even give a hoot about. So thank you, Mason, for your encouragement. Yes, I am working on this, but I am finding that working on this is not a straight road. What I mean by that is I just don't come out in the morning and start working on this and work till it's done and then go back in the house at night. It's more like me thinking, well, let's see here. I'm going to turn the motor over, but I got a big hole in the side of the motor right here. Now, this is where the fuel pump goes, but the fuel pump needs to attach to a plate. There needs to be a plate right here, otherwise oil is going to leak out of that when I start spinning the motor over, because I got oil right down here in the oil pan, and when I start fluffing it up, it's liable just to come right out of there. So I need a plate, and I need a rod. There's a rod that goes up in here, and that rod pumps the little arm on the fuel pump. Let's see if I got a fuel pump in one of these boxes where I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm walking over to my boxes. I'm walking over to my parts. Nope, it's not in that one. It's not in that one. It's not in that one. It could be up there. I know I've seen a fuel pump around here somewhere, and I know I've got one. But anyway, and on top of that, and so also, that's one more thing on my list to find. I need a rod like this rod. Now this rod was in a box that was given to me by another YouTuber named Charles Dyer. And it was down in the other barn, and it was full of nuts and bolts, which is a gold mine. If you're putting together a small block Chevy, and you've got all the nuts and bolts and brackets and washers, like this washer right here, that's made for one thing and one thing only. And if you're familiar with those engines, you know exactly what that bolt does. And there's a lot of other parts like that in here. So I did have this, and I do have, what did I do? Put it back in the box? I bet I did. But it's down here underneath all these rods. Yeah, I have two of these. I think one came off of my motor and one came out of Charles Dyer's box. So these are those pieces that go on that hole where the pump is going to connect. See, that goes right there. Yeah, that goes right there. And that rod goes up in the motor, and it pumps the arm of the fuel pump, which if I had a fuel pump, I would show it to you. And I'm getting all off track here, but that's normal for me. Those of y'all that are used to hanging around me know I do this sort of thing. But let me look up here. I know up here one of these boxes has gauges. There's a distributor, and there's gauges, and this is gaskets. That's a timing chain that I won't need. These are lifters that I'm not going to use. And oh, maybe it's over there. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's not a straight road. You have to find all the pieces and the parts and the gaskets and the doodads. So here, right here, there. Okay, that's a pulley. This is a alternator bracket that I'm not going to use because I don't have that kind of head. This is a ring squeezer. This is a gizmo that converts certain engines to a spin-on oil filter. Oh, here's some nuts and bolts I didn't even look at, but I've got them. And this is the pump right here. So, oh, and look, there's that rod. See, I was looking for that rod. Well, I got one right there. I got one of these. I got one of these. Oh, look, I got one of these. Look at that. And here's a gasket. Here, the gasket that goes on that. And here's a gasket that goes on something else. So, oh, And I bought one of these the other day because I didn't think I had one, but I got one right there. But I'll use the other one I bought. I'll use the new one. I found 2 more of them when I was looking through the boxes. So this pump goes over here. It goes on that plate I showed you, and it goes, this sits right in here, and that rod that I showed you pumps this little thing right here, and that's what makes your pump go gush, gush, gush. So anyway, there was some other things. Look at there, there's a oil pan gasket. There's a lot of good pieces and parts laying around here. So I got some hot sun coming in here too. I might want to close that door. So the other day I had mentioned that I had on this starter a wire, a naked wire here. And I'm not sure I should have that. Now somewhere I've got a jar of liquid stuff that you brush onto a piece of wiring, it insulates it. I can't find that. I'm pretty sure that made it down here, and it should be in my box of electrical stuff, but I didn't find it. But I believe I can take some of this silicone and squirt it right there, and then put this up in there where it goes, and I think that'll be fine. And I did find me 2 bolts. One is a legitimate starter bolt. You can tell by this little groovy line thing that's on it, and the other one is not, but it'll still do. And this other one is long enough where I can hang a lock washer and a big washer and a few things like that on it. So first thing I want to do is probably insulate that, and then I may want to clean this up and put this on there, and put that tube in there, and put that gasket on there, and then put the water pump on, fuel pump on that, and then I want to put this on here, and I want to hook that to the battery and spin that motor over. Now I'm not going to spin it over far. I'm just going to spin it over enough so that this timing mark right here can get up there where the timing mark is supposed to go up there. And I'll show you. I actually bought, well, this part. I actually bought one of these. I didn't realize I had 2 or 3 here, but I'll put this new one onto that. And I'll also, if I got the gaskets for it, I'll be putting the gaskets on this intake manifold. And after I do that, I can drop a distributor in there, put some spark plugs in this, run the plug wires, put the manifolds on it, and I should be able to crank it after that. So that's where we're at with that, Mason, and all you other folks that are out there keeping an eye on me. So I thought I'd give you that little catch up, and then we'll go from there. Love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.